half of the world's youth population is subject to anxiety or depression causing circumstances, and more than a third are uncertain of their future career prospects due to COVID-19. This was the finding of a study which was published on 20th May, very recently. So why did I say that our young people are going through a lot of stress and anxiety during this COVID-19 pandemic? There are many causes of these anxieties or stress. We know that the education, the academic things have changed a lot. Now we have to depend excessively on technology. There is no way that the students can connect to their teachers physically. Suppose they have to clear some doubts, or if they have to talk to their peers, it is not possible. So all these are adding to the stress and anxiety of students. It's not only that, examination is another area where already students have got a lot of stress. And in our education system, we all know that examination is the be all and end all of all things. So here again, examinations have been postponed, and the students are not, knowing about the mode of the exam. They are all uncertain about it, whether it will be online, offline, what will be the pattern of question paper. All these things are creating a lot of stress among the youth. Now, GVM's College of Education, in association with PACE and ARIO, today we are organizing a program specially keeping in mind the facts which I shared with you today. And we have a very eminent resource person today, Dr. Kalpa Govekar. She is the consultant psychiatrist and mental health coach. She has a vast experience of many years. And today we are very, very happy that she is our resource person, and she is the right resource person for this topic. And we would like to welcome Dr. Kalpa Govekar to this seminar. And we have Dr. GB Givargis, Treasurer, ARIO Global, and she will be inaugurating this seminar shortly. And Dr. GB Givargis has been a great source of encouragement for us to start this chapter of ARIO in Goa. And also she has been guiding us in many situations that how to go about with various seminars and conferences of ARIO or in collaboration with ARIO. And we have organized a dozen seminars in the last year in association with ARIO, especially to improve the skills of our research scholars. So I would like to welcome Dr. GB Givargis for the inaugural address.
Thank you.
And we have Dr. BP Marje. Thank you. Dr. BP Marje, the principal and the Vice President of PACE India Maharashtra and Goa chapter. Sir is always available for us. The moment I called him, he was very happy. When I said thanks, he was telling me, why you are thanking me, sir? So sir is very, very interested, and I think some of our faculty members, they know, and he has come here a couple of times. So today we are very happy that Dr. BP Marje will be giving the felicitation speech. And I would like to welcome you, sir Marje. And we have the members of the working committee of Goa Vidya Prasarak Mandal, research scholars, faculty members, B.Ed students, M.Ed students, pre-primary, diploma in pre-primary teacher education students, and many other participants from different institutions. I would like to welcome all of them to this seminar. Though we are going through a very difficult time in the history of mankind, it is possible that we can turn these tragedies into triumph, these obstacles into opportunities, and the problems into projects. And today, as you are going to listen to this wonderful talk on mental health, especially about academic and examination anxiety and stress, I am sure that it would help you to turn some of your problems into projects and obstacles into opportunities. I wish all the participants all the best. And also, once again, I thank you, especially the participants from different institutions who have joined for today's seminar. Thank you, one and all.
Hello, can I?
Goa Vidya Prasarak Mandal's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, in association with ARIO and PACE, Principals Association of College of Education, is having this mental talk for our students and for the people who would like to have a good mental health. Let me now invite Sri Ganesh Naik, Associate Professor at college, to introduce the inaugurator of this edu talk.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased and glad that I'm going to introduce the collaborator of the seminar, Dr. G.B. Givargis. Already she has been introduced by Dr. Matthew earlier as treasurer of the Goa, Aero Global chapter. Dr. G.B. Givargis is associate professor in education from Mar Theophilus Training College, Nalanchira, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. She has a long experience in teaching. She has altogether 27 and plus years of teaching in colleges. She has guided students, 3 students leading to PhD degree in education, and at present she is guiding 5 students more. She has published several books and several articles in national and international journals. Okay, these shows her caliber in academics. She has been associated with various departments and positions, rendering her administrative skills. Like she has been chairperson of Board of Studies in Education in University of Kerala. She also member of PG Studies in the University of Kerala. She is a part of Kerala Civil Service Academy. She joint secretary was of KCBC Women's Commission and member of All India Women's Conference, New Delhi. So many lists there of her association to different organizations. She has been the resource persons of various seminars and webinars and conferences, both at state level and national level, in the field of education and related fields. She also actively participates and makes herself involved with Doordarshan and Akashvani in Kerala. It's a good thing. And the kind of things she does there is by giving talks and participating in discussion related to different social problems in the state of Kerala. So on my behalf, I welcome Dr. G.V. Givargis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ganesh sir, for that introduction of Dr. G.B. Givargis. May I now request Dr. May I now request Dr. G.B. Givargis to motivate our participants and inaugurate the session.
Thank you so much, sir, for your generous words. Respected Dr. Georgian Matthew, Dr. Kalpa Govekar, Dr. Marji, Dr. Didia, other team members of Dada Vaidya College, Mrs. Kairuna, Ganesh, Mrs. Hani Babu, Mrs. Akshada Samant, and my dear friends. A very good morning to one and all. I'm very glad to be here to inaugurate the education talk on mental well-being, academics, and exam stress. organized by Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, Goa, in association with Principals Association and Association of International Researchers of Indian Origin, ARIO Goa chapter. At the outset, I would like to thank the entire team for inviting me and having given me a chance to share some of my ideas of mental health in this occasion. So I would like to congratulate for choosing this subject because our children are under a great pressure. Because after a long uncertainty period of pandemic, now we are coming back to the series of exams and children are under very, very, very pressure. And we know the world we live in is becoming more and more stressful every day. And people are engaging in stressful encounters in almost every major domains of life, in studies, in career, in relationship maintaining. But how we respond to the stressful situations, it depends upon the mental health. So again, hats off to the whole team for selecting this subject for the discourse. So I would like to say a few words about Dr. Georgian. He is a friend of mine. He is a man of immense knowledge, and he is a person who makes and keeps cordial relationship with others. And moreover, his contributions to the academic field is definitely noteworthy. Though he has joined recently in ARIO as a Govan chapter president, he is an active and enthusiastic member. He did a lot of works in research in collaboration with ARIO. So again, congratulations, Dr. Georgian. Okay, now today we are experiencing a wonderful talk of Dr. Kalpana. Before that, we know the present situation demands some sort of mental health from us because the mind, it can make a hell of heaven or a heaven of hell. So I would like to ask you a question. Are you happy today? Are you happy today? Dear students, if it says you can put Y on the chat box. Are you happy today? Those person who feel fine now, you can put a Y sign, Y on the chat box. Are you feel fine today? Yes, very good, very good. Yes. So how do you feel now? No answers? Only two more, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay. So what makes you happy today? You are extremely happy. Very good, very good. So I would like to ask one more question. When you are emotionally disturbed, how do you cope with it? How do you cope with it? Will it prolong, or do you use your resilience capacity to overcome it? I think most of us have resilience capacity. And today, this talk of Dr. Kavita will help you in tapping all the resources for maintaining mental health. Because if you are happy in your life, if you are not happy, life laughs at you because we have enough opportunity to feel happiness. So if you are not making use of it, life laughs at you. So if you are not happy, life laughs at you. If you are happy, life smiles at you. And if you're making others happy, life salutes you. So I prefer the third chance. May the life salute you in all walks of your life. Making others happy. Make others happy. So as we know, life is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. And the choice is left to us. Choice is ours. Choice is ours. We have to choose it. Whether we have to be happy, whether we are or unhappy, whether we have to stay in frustrated form or mentally peace, The choice is ours. 100% responsibility is ours. Now now today's talk is dealing with academic and exam stress. How to deal with it effectively by acquiring mental health. So as we know, life is also an exam. Do you agree with it? Life is also an exam. Those people who and these exams are preparing you to face the life exam successfully. Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it? Those people who agree with it, you can put S mark on the chat box. Yes. Okay. Now make use of this message box, chat box. Okay. So you agreed that life is an exam. Okay. Definitely, life is also an exam. Then when will you get the question paper? Dear friends, when will you get the question paper? So if you have an answer, please pen down in the chat box. When will you get the question paper? If life is an exam, when will you get the question paper? So any idea? Every single moment you are getting. Okay. Okay. Every moment. Okay. That's questions are getting every moment. But the question paper is given in at the yes, to at any point on time. Okay. So the question paper is getting at the time of birth. The question paper is also getting at the time of birth. So who is giving the question paper? Then otherwise, what's the cool off time for any exam? There's a cool off time. What's the cool off time for life exam? What's the cool off time? Can you answer? What's the cool off time? Cool off time, we are acquiring something, we are recollecting something, we are writing some mental script, what I have to write. So what is that stage? Do you have any answer? At the infancy stage and at the childhood stage, we are receiving everything. Then when will you start to write the exam? When will you start to write the exam? 9:50 to 10, no time limit. 9:50 to 10, no. This is for your academic exam. So I am talking about your life exam. You will get the question paper at the time of birth, and cool off time is you are acquiring something, you are recollecting something at the stage of infancy and at the stage of childhood. When will you begin to write the exam? When you take the responsibility, mostly at the time of adolescent and at the time of adulthood, you are starting your exam. Then you have already answered about the questions. What are the questions? So you have already answered. What are the questions in the life exam? Do you have any answer? What may be the questions? Priyanka Damal, that is good. At any point of time, you will get the question. Okay, you have to write. Very good. What may be the questions? Any answer? I want some active listeners, no passive listeners, because I am talking with a black monitor. Whether you are live or not, I just want some answers. What are the questions in life exam? Any answer? Meenakshi, Swati, Shodhan, so many people are there. What may be the questions? The life experiences, the challenges we face, the problems we are solving. These are the questions of life exam. So facing these challenges are the answers. Facing these challenges tactfully, mindfully, worthfully. That are the answers. So when we have to return back the answer paper after doing all these things at the old age, we review it, whether there is any gap, whether we forget to write any questions. So we will answer all the things, we review it, and then finally we have to return it back. The answer sheet, we have to return it back. So which time we have to return it back? When will you return the answer script back? Any answer? So because the question paper is getting at the time of birth and the answer paper is we have to give at the time of death. So then who will put the mark? Who will put the mark for the challenges we overcome? Who will put the mark? Our children, our elders, our society, our colleagues, they will put the mark. So this academic examination is an examination for preparing the life exam successfully. So I hope everybody can successfully overcome this life exam very tactfully, very meaningfully and worthfully. That is why Shah Rukh Khan sings, "Har khadi badal rahi hai, roop zindagi, chav hai kabhi kabhi hai tu, har pal eham ji bhar jiyo." What we have to do is live mindfully, live worthfully, live meaningfully. So live mindfully, live mindfully. What you might have heard about mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness. Are you familiar with the term mindfulness? Dear friends, are you familiar with the term mindfulness? Living in the present moment. Awareness about the present moment. Paying attention to the present moment. That is mindfulness. So quite often we have to ask 4 questions to our mind. 4 questions. Yes, Pallavi, she is familiar with the term mindfulness. So we have to live mindfully. For living mindfully, we have to ask 4 questions to our mind. Which are they? Is it audible? Is it audible, friends? Is it audible? Is it audible? Yes, okay. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because some power failure, somebody is not getting me because my voice is breaking for some people. Okay. Okay, so we have to ask for mindful living, for mindfulness, we have to ask 4 questions now and then. So the first question is, who are you? When I ask to myself, the answer is, I am a teacher or I am a student. Now I am listening to the webinar talk on mental health. So this is the answer. Then what are you doing now? I am listening. I am listening to this webinar, educational talk. What you are supposed to do? So completely immersed in this topic. Pick what all things I can get from it. Internalize it. Try to practice it. That is what I am supposed to. What others expect from this talk. And the 4th one is how to modify it. What I can do to tap maximum from this talk. So these are the first 4 questions you have to ask now and then to be mindful in every walk of life. When you are in your family, think, who am I? I am a wife here. What I am doing now? I am not much caring about my children. I am not doing properly my responsibility. Then what you are expected to do here? As a mother, as a wife, I have some responsibility. The role versus responsibility. Okay, so I have to keep in mind, I have to be mindful about my responsibility. Then how I can improve? What all things I have to do for maintaining a quality parenting, quality time in keeping my responsibilities. So these are the first 4 questions you have to ask now and then for living mindfully. So keep in mind, the life is also an exam. This academic exam is a preparation for successfully completing our life exam. And mindfully, live mindfully, because mindfulness, that gives definitely rich dividends. So mental well-being, we have three gifts, precious gifts from God: mind, body, and soul. So you might have heard about positive psychology. The central importance of positive psychology, it's the scientific study what makes life most worth living, focusing on the well-being of individual. So make use of your mind, body, and soul worthfully. I have already said life is a choice, and the choice is left to us. The moment we choose actions, we are choosing the results too. So it is up to you to make a healthy environment to your success in life. Take 100% responsibility. Okay, so because we have a good brain, you might have heard about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, it is the brain's ability to change and adapt what you think. So you might have heard about nothing is good or bad. Our brain, our thinking makes it so. So what we want is prepare our brain positively. Give positive notations to our brain. So make use of the neuroplasticity. We know, as we know, 2020 is one of the most challenging years. COVID has been experiencing the worst season in recent history. So our thinking, our perception, we can tap all the resources to maintain our mental health. So I would like to say one more thing. You are familiar with the term IQ, EQ, SQ. Are you familiar with the term AQ, AQ? That is adversity quotient. Adversity quotient. What is adversity quotient? IQ, you are familiar. The ability to, it is a comprehensive ability. Emotional quotient is also familiar to do. Managing your emotions. Social quotient is also familiar to do. Making and keeping good relationship. Then what is adversity quotient? Your ability to go through a rough patch in life and come out without losing your mind. So I hope everybody will achieve adversity quotient AQ to a higher level, because you have to face so many troubles. You have to face challenges in life. So now things are starting to move towards normality. It is important to take stock of your mental health, mental worth, and do what you can to improve your well-being. So this is a chance. This is a choice of yours. And I just want to say a thing that is a new start. NEWSTART. New start. N for, so what all things we have to keep in mind for enhancing our mental health. New start. N for nutrition. E for exercise. W for water, drinking water. Then S for S for self-care. Self-care. And the other one, A for good air and act of kindness. And R for rest and relaxation. And the last T in New Start is trust in God, your spirituality. That also give you rich dividend. Definitely all these things. New Start, nutrition, exercise, water, then self-care, time management, then again good air, good atmosphere, then relaxation and rest, and trust in God. Definitely all these things will give you rich dividends in your life. May God bless you. And now you are enthusiastically waiting for a wonderful talk on mental health, mental well-being, academic and exam stress. And before signing off, with your kind permission, I inaugurate this educational talk on mental well-being, academic and exam stress. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. GB. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for this lovely explanation of mental health. I'm sure with Dr. Kalpa's more explanation on mental health, our participants will be benefited. Thank you so much for being there with us today. GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, in association with Association of International Researchers of Indian Origin, which is registered in New York, and Principals Association of College of Education, Goa and Maharashtra chapter. पहचान करूं? Sorry, dear participants, the electricity is a problem here, so you are not able. Sorry.
Echo is there.
Immense pleasure to introduce the facilitator for today's Edu Talk, Dr. B.P. Marje. Being the principal of Srimati Putalaben Shah College of Education, Sankli, Maharashtra, and Vice President of PACE India Maharashtra Goa chapter, he is the key contributor in the field of teacher education. His academic interest lies in the areas of ICT, ELT, measurement and evaluation, educational psychology, and teacher education. The 31 years of teaching experience and his wide research experience was really fruitful to many students. 5 students have been already awarded doctoral degrees under his guidance, and 2 are on the way to achieve it. His academic writing account holds 107 research papers published in various reputed national and international level of journals, and active participation and presentation of more than 75 papers in various seminars, workshops, and conferences. He has also extended his expertise as resource person for wide audience. He has also completed a minor research project funded by UGC. Dr. Marje has written a book entitled Teaching of English Classroom Practices, which has been awarded by Dr. Anand Vaskar Excellence Book Award, instituted by YCMOU, Nasik and Maharashtra State Secondary Teacher Educators Association in 2017. Apart from this, Sir is also the co-author of book entitled Gender, School and Society. Dr. Marje is honored by awards, Excellence Award in PhD by Shivaji University Kolhapur, Best Paper Reading Award in many conferences. At present, Sir is also the part of visiting team member of NCTE, and he has already inspected 11 teacher education institutions across the country. Dr. Marje holds key positions as Board of Studies member of Shivaji University, North Maharashtra University, and Solapur University. Expert member of Board of Examiner in Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University. Director of Sankli Shikshan Sansad Sankli. Member of Council of Teacher Education, All India Research Education Association, and Bharat Vikas Parishad Sangli. Sir is also the member of editorial board of Indian Stream of Research Journal and Global Educational Research Association and International Research Journal of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University. In short, we are blessed to have Dr. B.P. Marje, an expert teacher educator with immense achievements, as the facilitator for today's program. On behalf of GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, PACE, and ADIO Goa chapter, I welcome you, sir. Sir, the floor
Thank
is
you,
open.
ma'am.
You can proceed.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Okay. A warm good morning to one and all. Honorable Dr. Georgine Matthew, officiating principal, GM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, Goa, executive member of PACE, Maharashtra Goa chapter, and president of AIRIO, Maharashtra Goa chapter. Honorable Dr. Delia Ancho, Principal, Nirmala Institute of Education, Panji. She is also executive member of PACE in Maharashtra Goa chapter and vice president of AIRIO Maharashtra Goa chapter. Honorable Dr. Gibi Georgis and Honorable Kalpa Govekar, today's research person. Respected Ganesh Naik, IPSC coordinator of GM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education. Respected Mrs. Karuna Satardekar, coordinator of this webinar. My friends, Sunil Kumar, Samir Naik, Sanjay Govekar, Neena ma'am, all the research scholars, faculty members of different institutions, other dignitaries, and all the participants present here today. It is my privilege to stand here before this gathering to wish the participants of this webinar. First of all, I would like to thank for giving me such an honor. I congratulate to the organizing committee for selecting the pivotal topic for the webinar as mental well-being, academics and exam stress. GM Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education is a unique institution in the state of Goa, offering various courses from pre-primary to PhD in education. This is the only institution in the state of Goa offering a university recognized diploma in pre-primary teacher training program. I think Master in Education program is started since last year and PhD in the Faculty of Education. Sir, you have created a research culture in your institution. The purpose of establishing Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education was to provide quality teacher education to the prospective teachers in the state of Goa. Sir, I hope under your able guidance and leadership, this institution will become one of the model teacher education institutions in the country. Wish you all the best for the same. The global pandemic has taken a massive hit on all the sectors of all economy. The time have been challenging for the education system around the world with the disturbance everywhere. Several concerned scholars, citizens, and even politicians and bureaucrats support the need for reimagining and reinventing the education system. Especially during this pandemic situation, mental well-being and health of the academics is a very important, and it is a crucial time. Taking into the account of this situation, the college has chosen the appropriate topic for the same. Examination stress among college students has been a topic of interest for many years. College students experience high stress due to various reasons such as lack of preparation, study habits or style of their study, lack of needed information. When stress is perceived negatively or becomes excessive, it leads to anxiety before and during examination and ultimately affects their academic achievement. Anxiety is a common condition noticed in people, and it is for all age groups. It may be caused by a physical condition, maybe a mental condition, and effects of drug or due to a combination of all these. Anxiety is defined as a painful or apprehensive uneasiness of mind, usually over and impending or anticipated ill. The common types of anxiety is panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, maybe phobia disorder, or OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, separation anxiety, stress disorder. All these are the types of anxiety. I hope today's keynote address, Honorable Kalpam ma'am, can explain these concepts very clearly. Academic anxiety is one of the important factors to determine the academic achievement of a student. Anxiety is a normal reaction to certain situations. So a small level of anxiety is a normal, but severe anxiety can be a serious problem. Academic anxiety can become more detrimental over time. As a student's academic performance, anxiety level related to certain academic text interest. Exam anxiety is the experience of feeling an intense moment of fear or panic before and or during an exam or assessment. There are 5 academic anxiety or academic anxiety components. Worry is there, emotionality is there, task generated interference is there, study skills deficits, procrastination means postpone for another day. These are the components of the anxiety. There are certain ways to reduce these academic anxiety. Study and exam related anxiety is a problem for many students. Whether or not they are focused on achieving academic excellence, and it's something that can affect students of any age. Students should have preparation and organization. If they well prepared and organized, it helps students stay focused and stay on top of his workload. Students should have time management skill. It is very important. In order to avoid anxiety, they should have time management skills. Students should have lower goals and focus on performance levels. Stay balanced during exam period. And one more important thing is that attending seminar, conferences, and workshops on topics such as today's seminar. We can manage academic anxiety even in the classroom also by developing strong academic skills to improve academic achievement. Its exam anxiety is frequently caused by poor preparation. So prepare well. If students feel fear of exam, then there is a use to inculcate different skills like relaxation, visualization, self-talk, etc. And that helps to reduce their academic anxiety. And even you can use self-talk positive statement test. When students feel anxiety from academic activities, it helps students to replace their negativity towards academic or academic activities. If students feel academic anxiety, teachers need to expand fears and realize that their fears are unrealistic. I have given only 5 minutes, and this is a vast topic. Today's research person can elaborate all these points in detail. Let me congratulate Dr. Josine Matthews for electing the President of Association of International Researchers of Indian Origin, Goa and Maharashtra chapter, and executive member of PACE India Maharashtra Goa chapter. Sir, your confidence, your knowledge, and your never giving up personality shines now. You deserve the position, and your all efforts is now paid off. I wish to make many success stories in your life that inspire others. Once again, congratulations to you. I also congratulate to Honorable Dr. Delia Anto for electing the Vice President of AIRIO and Executive Member of Goa Maharashtra Chapter. I sincerely thanks to Honorable Dr. Matthew sir and later requesting me to present over this felicitation ceremony of this webinar. Once again, thanks to all and best wishes to the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marje sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marje sir, for that lovely motivational talk for our students on mental health. Thank you, Dr. Jojen Matthew, for giving us this opportunity. And thank you, Dr. GB, for being there with us always. Now it's time to know more about today's resource person, Dr. Kalpa Govekar, who's going to tell us in detail about mental health and how to deal with academics and exam anxiety. Before that, may I request Ms. Akshata Samant, assistant professor at college, to introduce today's resource person.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure and an absolute honor to introduce the most accomplished resource person for today's talk, Dr. Kalpa Govekar. She is a psychiatrist, consultant psychiatrist and therapist, and mental and emotional health coach with over 10 years of clinical experience. She's somebody who strongly believes and practices holistic mental health approaches. She has always been committed towards creating awareness and, most importantly, destigmatization of mental health issues. She advocates everyone to make their mental and emotional health a priority. She focuses on personal growth and empowerment of the individual. Her areas of expertise are personal consultations, under which come depression, anxiety, panic attacks, stress, mood and sleep disorders, teenage mental and emotional issues, dementia. I think each of these is something what either us or our loved ones have experienced in the last year and a half. Her areas of expertise also deal with counseling and therapy and personal and group coaching, which include self-discovery and awareness, anger management, creating a balance in life, performance coaching, mindset coaching, and emotional resilience. Her work experience entails a span of 10 years of extensive experience and expertise in the field of clinical psychiatry, treating individuals with various psychiatric disorders. Conducting awareness-based programs is her forte. She conducts motivational programs and workshops of various aspects of personal growth and development. Her expertise also is in dealing with school mental health problems, as also she has experience with medico-legal psychiatry and consultation liaison psychiatry.
Other skills and her expertise include excellent communication skills, and she has been always a very adept storyteller throughout her life. Her adept analytical skills make her an excellent problem solver, and she can design and deliver workshops and coaching programs according to the client's needs. She has recently delivered a workshop and a seminar for Kakulo College of Commerce and Management Studies, Maksa, Goa, on the topic depression and anxiety in young adults. And it is the same topic or a similar topic related to mental well-being, academic and examination stress that she is going to help us with today. I welcome you, ma'am, Dr. Kalpa Govikar, and say finally, hey, that the floor is all yours. Thank you. Dr. Kalpa Govikar, are we audible to you? Okay. I request the students and the participants to just hang in for a moment. Okay, Dr. Kalpa Govikar seems to have some internet connectivity issues at her end. So just give us a moment and she'll be back. Okay. Dr. Kalpa Goekar is having some internet issues. She's trying to join back. Just cooperate with us for a few seconds more.
Akshada? Some problem is there? Okay, she joined.
Yes, sir, some connectivity issues.
Yeah. Any problem, you let me know. I can talk to the students about exams. If she has joined,
Yes,
let her continue.
Okay.
She has joined?
Yes, sir. Sure. Just give me a moment, sir.
Then I will try to share it. You send. I'll share my email ID to you. You join through your phone. No problem. You can start. She'll join through her phone. She's joining.
She's joining.
Yeah, she's having internet problem.
So if she is having internet problems, then sir can speak about the examination till then. Till she joins. Okay, if she has I'll tell her.
Okay. For our B.Ed students, till Dr. Kalpa Govekar joins in, like just a few seconds, and she will join in. Till then, I request Dr. Georgian Matthew, officiating principal, to speak to you about examination issues. So, Dr. Matthew,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
he has requested, in the meantime, he will speak. Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the students, good morning. The circular for your final examinations came just now. So our examinations will start from 12th July. And duration of examination shall be 2 hours, and it will be in online mode. And we will be sending you question papers through email and WhatsApp. And then you have to write down the answers and upload the answer sheet. You will get time up to 1 o'clock. And the question paper pattern and the details I have shared in your WhatsApp group. You can go through that. Question number 1 shall have 2 questions of 10 marks each, out of which you will have to answer 1 question. Number 2 also will have 2 questions of 10 marks each. You have to answer 1 question. Question number 3 will have 2 parts, and out of that you have to answer 1 question in each part. So there is a formula for the declaration of result: 50% marks of the previous year, 20% marks of the project and assignments, and 30% marks of the year-end assessment. So these details I have shared in your WhatsApp group, the official WhatsApp group. You can download and see. So please go. I mean, after this, today you will have a very good talk you can listen to on examination stress, and then without stress you should prepare and do well for the exam. I wish you all the best. If you have any further questions after this talk, we will be available. We can discuss. Thank you. So you have not joined? Still problem is there?
So there's some issue with the slides and the connectivity. So we are just sorting it out from the speaker side.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I
So
can carry
maybe
on?
just a minute. Yes. Thank you, sir.
You stop me when I should stop. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
could continue,
students.
sir.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Second year BS students, I just would like to tell you a few more things. You see, we have a Masters of Education program in our college. Also, we have a PhD center, research center. So those who want to continue after your B.Ed program, you can do your M.Ed and you can do your PhD from our college. We have the facilities for that. So M.Ed program, I would like to tell you, is a very, very important program. And if you do M.Ed, I would say that it is just like a passport for a good job. So anywhere you go with a master's in education, if you go to a school, if you have a master's in education, they would always prefer you. So if you would like to continue your studies, our last date is not yet over. We will wait till your results are out. So please apply for this M.Ed program in our college. And the fees are not very high, and even the fees are less compared to other B.Ed colleges where you have to pay around about 70,000 rupees per year. Here we are offering it for 50,000 or something near to that. So please see, it is a self-financing program, and the last date is not yet over, so it is possible for you to apply. There are many vacancies coming up. In SCRP, there will be vacancies. Even in our colleges of education, there will be vacancies. And in future, we will be having many BA, B.Ed, BSc, B.Ed colleges in the state of Goa. So a lot of opportunities are there, those who complete their Masters in Education program. So I would encourage all the students who would like to continue your studies, please do your M.Ed. Seats are limited. We have only 50 seats. A few seats are left. So if you are interested, you can contact me or you can collect your prospectus for the Masters of Education from our office. And once again, I wish you all the best, and we'll come back after the session is over. Our teachers.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Matthew, sir. The weight of the BA of our participants, especially the B.Ed students, for the circular regarding the examination is over. Thank you, sir, for announcing and for forwarding it on their WhatsApp group. So I think a little bit of stress of what you were talking about is already done. It's already reduced. And along with that, the wait for today's speaker, Dr. Kalpa Govekar, is also over. We have her on board. I request Dr. Kalpa Govekar to please take the lead. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the technical glitch that I faced, and I just got disconnected at the exact moment that I was about to speak. So, good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Kalpa Govekar, and I'll be today speaking on academic stress. And the principal and Dr. Verghese has already spoken a lot, especially about positive psychology and mindfulness, which I also advocate. And let us now see in detail about the determinants of academic stress and how to go about it. So can I please request Karuna to share my PPT, and I'll just explain it. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We are just downloading. They have just downloaded the PPT and they're casting it. If you could just give maybe a 2 seconds is what Karuna ma'am says. So till then, we request that you can start.
Yeah, sure.
Initiate your talk, and the PPTs will be on. Thank you.
So usually people have this notion, right, that because somebody is a student or because somebody has not started their career yet, they must be like very relaxed in their life. It's one of the best times of somebody's life. People say that, oh, you're just a student, you must be not having any stress. But it's not true. A lot of studies have found that now increasingly academic life is getting more and more stressful with every passing day. And what is the reason for the academic life being so stressful? First of all, it's the especially in a society like India, where there is so much pressure on the student to perform well academically, and a lot of importance is given to grades and your academic achievements, and it's sort of drilled into the student's mind that whatever marks you get, that will determine your outcome in life, that will determine your success in life. And also the internal pressure that the student puts on themselves. A lot of students are putting a lot of pressure on themselves to perform, even if somebody else may not be performing. And to add to that, it is also the societal perception that if in case somebody does not perform well in studies or is not good in academics, uh, yeah, thanks for the PPT. Can you just share the second slide, please? Yeah. So we were talking about why there is so much of academic stress. So first reason is that there is so much of uncertainty about the future. When the student is in college, they are very worried about their career. They're not certain about what is going to happen. And especially in times like this, where the pandemic is going on, the uncertainty has even increased further. And like I said, high expectations which are put by the society on the person, and high external and internal pressure to perform well. And a lot of students are not able to handle the stress and cope up, and that is the reason for so much of mental and emotional health issues that we are seeing right now. And also peer pressure. We tend to compare ourselves with other people. Somebody else is performing well, then you are also pressurized to perform equally well. And like I said before, it's become a highly competitive environment. The academic exams, and to get into colleges, there are these entrance exams and everything which are highly competitive. Even by a 0.1% or like 1 mark, you can miss the seat. So that's the reason for so much of academic stress. Can you change the slide, please? Okay, the other things are the inability to understand the subject concepts. Whatever the person, whatever subject it is, you're not able to understand it. That can also rise to stress and stigma of low achievement or underperformance that I've spoken about already, and loss of life balance. Now, ma'am, in her introductory talk, she spoke about this maintaining a life balance. So what happens is, because of high academic pressure, the life balance goes haywire. The whole day we are only involved with academics, and now, especially in COVID times, there is lack of a physical classroom. So initially everybody was very happy that they don't have to go to college, everything has become online. But over a period of time, we have realized that that itself is building up so much of stress and pressure. And it's not all that sunshine and rainbows, as we call it. The lack of a physical classroom is also creating a problem. And when we go to a college physically, we are a part of that community. Our college is not just a place where we go and study something and come back. It's also a community. And now, in times of pandemic, we have lost that college as a community. Next slide, please. So let's see about who are the people who are more affected. Now, everybody is affected in some way or the other, but there are people who are highly affected, and these are the people who are by personality or by nature, who are easily anxious, who are easily worried, who easily take on stress, or somebody who already has a low self-esteem and self-confidence. So already that confidence is shaky, and when you put exam stress on it or academic stress on it, it further worsens the problem. And poor social support system, which means that either the family support system is not there, or does not have other friends, somebody who is extremely lonely and not a part of the support system. And other psychological stressors, like probably somebody who comes from a very poor background, or somebody has other problems at in the house. Say there is physical abuse, or there is some sort of family related conflict. So they are also you know more prone to getting academic stress. And somebody who has a pre-existing psychological health condition, which means that somebody who, say for example, is already a known case of depression, or is already a known case of anxiety, or any other psychological condition, they will not be able to cope up with additional stress. So they get easily prone to academic stress or any other life stressor. Next slide. So what are the consequences of academic stress? So there are a variety of mental and emotional health issues and variety of psychological health conditions which are the resultant consequences of taking high academic stress. And the most common of which is depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and OCD. Severe behavioral problems like anger outbursts, not being able to maintain their emotions, not being able to regulate, emotions on a daily basis. Even there are students who go on for addictions and substance use, like smoking, alcohol intake, or sometimes even others, like more hard drugs like cocaine, heroin. and interpersonal conflicts that because the person is so stressed, his relationship with others can get conflicted, like in the family or friends or elsewhere. Also, rise of suicides. You must have read a lot of students and a lot of young adults committing suicide or attempting suicide for the sole reason that they are stressed about exams, or they have not been able to perform well in exams. And eating disorders. Now, eating disorders are of many types, but the one which is most commonly seen, especially in India, is the binge eating disorder. And that means somebody is eating large quantities of food in response to stress. It's also known as emotional eating. And also, one of the consequences, college dropouts, not being able to cope up, and people just drop out from college. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is in brief about what are the symptoms of anxiety and depression. So, and I'm talking about this because this is the most commonly seen. About 8 to 10% of students undergo depression and anxiety. And now, in times of pandemic, it has doubled. It's even more than that. So depression is characterized by feeling low. So it is a mood disorder. So once you feel your mood is low, you are not interested in doing anything else. Whatever you were doing before, now you are not interested in that. Unable to concentrate. There will be mood swings. There will be negative thoughts. Easy physical tiredness, irritability, and feeling very worthless, that is low self-esteem, feeling hopeless, that is as if there is no hope for the future, right? So hopelessness, worthlessness, and helplessness, it is known as the triad of depression. And that is why people tend to attempt suicide and sometimes even commit suicide, because of this triad: hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness. And anxiety is characterized by constant anxious thoughts, being worried all the time about what is going to happen, feeling out of control. And there can be even physical symptoms like sweaty palms, high heart rate, palpitations, sweating, nervousness. And there are some symptoms which are common to both anxiety and depression. In fact, anxiety and depression often go hand in hand. So somebody who has anxiety will also have some amount of depression. And if somebody has depression, they will also have some amount of anxiety. So excessive worrying, restlessness, agitation, negative thoughts, these are common to both the disorders. Can you go on to the next slide, please? Yeah. So now when we were talking about anxiety and depression, I also have to mention about panic attacks, because it is very common. Panic attacks is sudden, like sudden extreme stress and anxiety that occurs, without any, it can occur because of some trigger, but sometimes it can also occur spontaneously. And that is when you have extreme symptoms like your heart rate going up and tightness of chest, unable to breathe, sweating all the time, feeling completely out of control. Some people even feel that they are going to die, and it hits like a lightning, all of a sudden. So people don't even understand what is happening to that. So it's extremely scary, and it usually happens before exams, or when there is some kind of a performance pressure, these panic attacks can occur. And I have seen a lot of students having panic attacks, especially just before exams or just before public speaking or any other important milestone. Can you go on to the next slide? Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some tips and strategies to deal with academic stress, and I'll be making it as simple as possible and as practical as possible so that everybody can put it into practice in their own lives. Can you go on to the next slide? Okay, so the first thing is to plan and organize your academic work. This is extremely important. Uh, So when somebody doesn't have a goal, right, they are very confused. See, suppose you want to go somewhere, you want to go from one place to another, and you don't know which is that exact place that you want to go, or you don't know the road to go there, then you're not going to reach that place. So having goals is extremely important. Having that academic goal that you want to achieve, and also on a daily basis you have to set certain tasks and certain intentions, like I'm going to complete this particular thing, and we can create a checklist. Now again, this checklist should be not something that is, don't simply write 10 and 15 items on the checklist, something that you will not be able to do. It has to be reasonably designed, the checklist, something that is possible to do on that particular day. And it's not enough only to form such a checklist, but to also update it regularly, and preferably every day. We can check every day what we have done, cross that off, and then make a separate checklist for the next day. And prioritization, a lot of people don't know how to prioritize tasks or prioritize their other everything else in life, no, academics and the other aspects of life. So we should learn to prioritize. We should understand what is important, what is urgent, what is both urgent and important, and what we should be giving more time to, what we should be doing first. And like Sir spoke, time management and time optimization. This is an extremely useful skill in today's time. So we often say, right, I don't have the time to do this, I'm very busy, there's no time. This is very frequently discussed. So usually it is noticed that it is not that you don't have the time, it's just that the time is not managed well, the time is not optimized well. So if there's one skill that you really need to learn, is the time management skill. So I'll give you a simple example. Say there are two students, okay? So there is person A who can say complete studying one particular chapter or whatever the portion is, say in 3 or 4 hours. And there is another person who will take say 8 hours for the same thing, and they're both equally brainy. There's no problem in understanding. But then the problem becomes in time management and time optimization, how to put your focus in that particular period of time such that you get maximum output. And we can use technology to for some good uses. Now technology has some good uses. There are various apps nowadays which can help you prepare a timetable, which can help you in scheduling and in tracking progress. So instead of using technology, just to scroll social media or see some mindless videos which are not really giving us any value, we can actually use it to increase our performance. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk more about writing down your goals. So this is extremely important. Like once we have set goals, then only we can make an action plan to achieve these goals. If we don't set goals, if we don't know what we want, then we will never be able to achieve it. So writing down clear objectives and writing down clear goals helps in giving clarity, in forming the action plan. It also strengthens your intentions. It can later on be used to track progress, and it also imprints on your subconscious mind, right? Our subconscious mind is so powerful. Whatever we feed into our subconscious mind, it is stored that way as a reality. So if you feed into your subconscious mind that you want this particular to achieve this particular thing, whether it is academic or anything else, your subconscious mind will work towards it automatically. And we call it subconscious mind because it is subconscious. We don't realize it, but it's there, and it is automatically sending signals to your conscious brain to act and think in that particular direction. Next slide. Yeah, so when we are preparing for exams or when we are studying, we need to have a daily routine and a structure and stick to that as much as possible. So how does the daily routine help? The daily routine helps in feeling grounded and in control. Once you have a proper structure, you know what you're going to do. So there is some kind of a pattern to your day, and it also increases focus and productivity. So it is necessary to maintain the fixed times, if not the same times, but or at least similar times for getting up, for eating, for sleeping. So now what happens is, because the classroom has become virtual and there is no need to like go physically, these things have become very haywire. People are sleeping at any time, eating at any time, getting up at any time, and the day just becomes very disorganized. And when there is so much of disorganization, there is no mental clarity and focus. And we need to get ready for the study and academic work, both physically and mentally. By that, what I mean is, when you're sitting down to study or sitting down to do any academic work, whether it is completing some project or doing studying or preparing something, you need to mentally first be ready for it. Like, give that mental signal to your brain that I'm sitting here to do work. And also become physically ready, as in like, be in proper attire and sit down to study, not just like anyhow just because you are at home. And next slide. So this, to maintain proper self-care. Proper self-care is, again, it's a part of being organized, and we have to try to get at least 30 minutes of physical activity. And the physical activity doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym and do some heavy workout. It can be any simple physical activity, like even walking every day or whatever other exercise you're comfortable in. And have to maintain a balanced and a nutritious diet. Now everybody talks about maintaining balance and nutritious diet, but a lot of people do not follow it. Now people are just ordering from Swiggy and Zomato, or eating some junk food like chips and biscuits because it is easily available. But over a period of time, it actually, this junk food has so much of sugar, so much of salt, so much of fat, that it actually causes problems in your brain functioning. So try to eat home cooked meals and a balanced and nutritious diet as much as possible. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Just keep a bottle of water on your desk, and start having it regularly. Again, another very important thing is to maintain adequate and restorative sleep. So sleep is directly related to your mental and emotional well-being. Any disturbance of sleep, any disturbance of sleep cycle will automatically affect your concentration. It will automatically affect your mood, your thinking, your performance, everything. So now this sometimes people require very less sleep. There are people who can function even with say 4 hours or 5 hours and function well, but these are very small amount of people. Usually for most students, or for most people, 6 to 8 hours of sleep is required. So try to get that much of sleep. Don't sacrifice your sleep for other things. And proper personal care. And I'm mentioning this because now in the pandemic, and when people are just studying from home or attending classes from home, a lot of people are not even maintaining proper self-care, like bathing or brushing. So that is all important. So all these things they are automatically signaling your brain for productivity and focus. That is why we need to maintain that proper routine, proper self-care, proper schedule. Next slide. So yeah, so we need to keep a dedicated space for study and academic work. So have some place in the house which is your dedicated study space. So like where there is proper table and a comfortable chair, because we are going to be sitting for such a long period of time, it is necessary to have a comfortable chair. Otherwise we'll end up with back pain and various other other disturbances. See to it that there is no disturbance or distractions during that time. there is good lighting, good ventilation, and good temperature control in that place. And avoid using personal spaces like bed to study. A lot of people do this, no, they're sleeping on the bed and attending lectures, they're sleeping on the bed or whatever, sitting on the bed and studying. So that is actually not a good practice, because your brain should have this one dedicated place which should signal to your brain that okay, now I am here, I have to study and I have to give my optimum performance. And the bed should be for rest and sleep. So if you confuse these two places, then the brain will get confused and it will not function well or give you the maximum output. And electronics and accessories, which means that if you want any particular accessories for you to study better, like maybe a table clock or table lamp or whatever it is, then it's okay to invest in these things as long as you make that comfortable study space for yourself. Next slide. So regular and scheduled breaks. Now we are studying so much and it's also necessary to take breaks. So I'm going to tell you about this technique. Most of you all must have heard about it somewhere. It's called as the Pomodoro technique, which says that after every 25 to 30 minutes of intense work, we need to take a 5-minute break. And this is because we cannot focus intensely on something for a long period of time at a stretch. So over a period of time, our concentration is just going down. So when we take these short breaks, you're giving your mind that time to rest, come back, and then you can focus without losing your concentration or without losing your performance. So what should we do in these mini breaks? Like we can take these 5-minute breaks to just look outside the window if there's something nice to look at. Like a lot of people, we stay in Goa, so a lot of people do have, nice things to look outside their window. Then you can practice simple breathing exercises that can be done in 5 minutes. Simple body stretches can be taken. Mindfulness exercises can be done. Like a ma'am spoke about mindfulness. So mindfulness, there are a lot of different practices in mindfulness, but it is over a period of time, it helps to being aware of the present moment without any distractions, increasing your focus and concentration. And in these small breaks, we can even listen to some calming music to recharge ourselves. And now even there is something called as 5-minute chair yoga. So all these things can be done in those 5-minute breaks. And then you come back and start studying again. Next slide. So rest days and break days. So if it's necessary to rest, if you're not feeling well, if you have some physical illness, or if you're someday that you're really feeling mentally exhausted, use that day or some part of that day at least to rest. Don't force yourself to function when you're completely burnt out and completely drained out, because it is going to be of no use. When you are you're just pushing yourself and you are not able to function in optimal capacity, you should just rest for some time. And you can take some time from the weekend to recharge yourself and then come back again fresh to start the day from the next week. Next slide. So now I'm going to talk about the power of tiny habits. So often when we think about academics or exams, we are just thinking about the whole portion, right? We are thinking about the mountain of things that we have to study. So if we can just break down these things into very tiny things and like start with small steps, like baby steps, we call it, we will not be that overwhelmed. So it will take you very less effort and resistance to start, because a lot of people are not able to start because they are scared looking at that huge pile. So when you start with something small, it will take you less effort, and then you can gradually build it up and try to maintain the consistency. Now if you look at the picture, it's just showing a small sapling which is growing. So it's not going directly from the first stage to the second stage, right? It's also going in a step by step manner. Similarly, you can also do that for yourself. So be patient with yourself and allow yourself to gradually progress and gradually take on bigger and bigger tasks. Next slide. Okay, so I've just put this same thing mathematically. Like a lot of people must be hating maths, but this is a nice way to understand. Like this diagram is showing how even tiny actions or tiny increments done daily can give us phenomenal results as opposed to doing nothing. So if you do nothing, you're just maintaining status quo. But if see 1.01 is 37, but 1, I mean, that is no action, is still just 1. It is the same thing in graphical format also. Like if you do incremental progress, you're still making progress and your graph is going on top. Next slide. Right, and this is just a continuation of this. We need to be patient with ourselves, play the long game, go easy on yourself, and set studying at a sustainable pace, and then build up gradually. And we all know about the story of the tortoise and the rabbit, where slow and steady wins the race. So it's not about just taking on a huge pile, exhausting yourself, and then stopping or giving up. It's about giving that consistent effort. Next slide. So try to maintain a balance in life. What this means is that our life has many areas, right? Academic life is just one of the areas. There is our physical health, there is our social life, our personal life, and maybe even other activities like recreation. So there has to be a balance in all these things. If we are just going to only concentrate on our academic life and neglect the other areas, that there will be consequences to that, by you being completely burnt out and easily getting frustrated, getting tired, getting stressed out. So we have to set a boundary between academic life and personal life, and organize and structure our work in such a way that it does not eat into our personal time. And also set schedule time to do some things that we like to do, such as our interests, our hobbies. If you really like to draw, if you really like to listen to music or play some instrument, then give some time to that. If you completely neglect that, then it's not going to be a good thing for your own psychological health or your emotional health. Next slide. Yeah, so this is very important, especially in times like this, where we are not going to college or going to our institutes physically. We still need to stay connected to our batchmates, to our classmates. And what we can do is we can form study groups and support groups. So a lot of people like to sometimes study in groups or study with another person, which is called as the buddy system. And what we can do is we can each person can add to the group by discussing strategies, by discussing concepts, and helping each other out, right? Something that maybe somebody else doesn't understand, so you can explain that thing to them, and vice versa. And also you can get to know people on a personal level, so that what happens is you feel that you're a part of some group, there is some belongingness. It helps in forming that connection and cohesion in your mind. And so this may not work for everybody. There are a lot of people who cannot study in groups. So you have to choose, which are the strategies that work for you. But for most people, group studies work wonderfully, especially people who, have problems understanding concepts or who are highly stressed. When they are in a group, they feel more supported and they can do their tasks much better. Next slide. Yeah, so you have to break down your tasks. Like I said before, you cannot just think of everything as, one whole thing. And set milestones. So what are milestones? Milestones are important, steps along the way. For example, if there is a subject with 30 chapters, okay, then every 5 chapters completed will be one milestone. So we can set certain milestones like that. And this helps in managing the steps better. Next slide. It's necessary to track our progress. So remember I spoke earlier about writing down the things, making a schedule. So that helps in tracking the progress. Like say after every 15 days, we can track back and see, how is our performance? Are we going according to schedule or are we lagging behind? And it will also tell you which study strategies are working for you, which are not working. And once you track your progress, you will be able to also reconsider strategies. Whatever is not working, um, ditch that strategy, adopt something else. So it's important to track your progress. Next slide. Yeah, get help from teachers and mentors. So just because you are at home, it doesn't mean that you should not be in contact with your mentors, with your teachers. So set up regular meetings as per your need. Somebody may have to set up this meeting, say every 1 month, or somebody else may require more frequent help. So, and in these meetings, what you need to talk about is you need to talk about your performance, how you're doing, get some clarity. If some things are not clear, then get clarity. Ask for support. A lot of colleges now have their own counselors. So, if there is a counselor like that, you can ask for support from that person. And assistance, if you want some assistance to understand something better, or any other kind of academic assistance, please ask, because unless you ask, you will not get it. And also the other person will not know what you want. So you have to make it clear what kind of assistance you want. And try to keep your communication open and clear. Do not hesitate to communicate. And again, help seeking, it's very important. So now in India, help seeking is pretty less, because if somebody requires certain kind of help, we are hesitant to ask. We keep it all inside. So it's like necessary to just ask for help, because you never know. Once you put your request across, you never know from where the help will come. But if you don't ask, you may not get the help. Next slide. Yeah, so motivate yourself. And this is a long process, right? When you're preparing for exams or any other kind of academic activity, and the motivation can drop along the way. So it's necessary to keep up that same enthusiasm and motivation that you started with. And how do you do that? Is to use positive quotes. Maybe you can subscribe to some app or a particular account on one of the social media that gives you positive quotes and sends motivational pictures every day. So it does help in increasing motivation. To create something known as a vision board. I'll be just talking about this like in the subsequent slides, using positive affirmations and using rewards. Can you yeah, so reward system. So what it means is we can use rewards to self motivate ourselves on achieving milestones, on achieving our major milestones, like I explained before, right? If it's a 30-minute sorry, it's a 30 chapters that you have to study, then after every say 5 chapters, or after every 10 chapters that you have studied, you can give yourself some kind of a reward. And this reward should not derail your progress in your studies. which means that the reward should not serve as some kind of a distraction for you. In fact, the reward should help you in your goals, right? And it should not have a direct and easy substitute. The next slide. So what is the science behind rewards? So our brain, when we get any reward or when we get something that we want, our brain releases something known as dopamine, which is a pleasure chemical. And then your reward pathway is going to get activated. So I am just going to make it very simple for you to understand. There is something known as a reward pathway in the brain. So when certain hormones or certain happy hormones or certain pleasure hormones are secreted, this reward pathway gets activated. And we get more focused and more committed to that particular goal. So indirectly it means that we are becoming addicted to achieving our goals. So this is a good way to motivate ourselves. Next slide. To keep your goals visible. So like I was talking about, we need some visual cues. We can use posters, motivational posters, which we can put in our rooms, or posters on our wallpaper to keep that goal visible. Because once your goal is visible, it is also sending subconscious signals. It is acting like a readily available source of motivation. And we can even maintain a journal and a diary, writing down what exactly we want to achieve and why we want to achieve it. The why is also important, right? Suppose you want to say you want to become very successful in life. So why do you want to become successful? What is the end goal there? Or you want to top the exams. So why do you want to top the exams? What is coming after that? What is the purpose of topping the exams? So that also needs to be very clear. And we can also make tiny handwritten notes and then stick them, maybe on our mirror, on our cupboards, where they can easily be seen. And by keeping our goals visible, we are increasing our focus, we are increasing our motivation, and it also acts as reinforcement. Next slide. So vision board. So vision board is nothing but a visual representation of our goals and our aspirations. So we can just, take a small cardboard or a piece of paper and stick all these motivational quotes on it, pictures on it, affirmations related to what we want to achieve, and put it. And that also acts like a good visual cue for our motivation. Next slide. Self-affirmations. Now, self-affirmations are very powerful, positive statements, and I use self-affirmations on many of our clients, and people have got phenomenal results with this. So they are positive statements which reinforce our self-belief, our self-esteem, and help us in working towards our goals. So what they do is they can even change your thinking and your belief system. It can condition your mind and increase your clarity and focus. So now what are some important, what are some easy self affirmations that you can do? You can say something like, I am strong and confident, or I have control over my anxiety. Okay, I am enough, or I will easily be able to answer the exam. So these statements automatically self motivate you and prove to be very uplifting in terms of morale also and confidence as well. Next slide. So these are some other points that I wanted to put across. It's to let go of perfectionism. Now, it is noticed that a lot of people procrastinate working on their goals or studying or any academic thing because they are perfectionists. There's all or none thinking. Either I'm going to do my 100% or I'm not going to do anything at all. So that is not serving anybody by being such a perfectionist. You rather do something than do nothing at all, even if it is not perfect. So let go of that perfectionist attitude and do your best and forget the rest, which means that we can only do our best, right? I mean, that's the only thing that we can do. And what will happen after that, or what is going to be the outcome, that we can just leave to the universe. That is not under our control. The outcome is not under our control, but the input that we give, what we can do from our side, that is under our control, and we can do our best in that. And stop comparing yourself to others. Now, at every point of time in your life, there always will be somebody else who will be better than you. But that doesn't mean that you need to compare yourself with this other person and all the time feel negative or feel inferior. You have to remember that every person comes with their own set of capabilities, their own set of skills, their own strengths. So you focus on your strengths, you focus on how to make your strengths work for you, on how to make your skills work for you, and stop this, comparison game. And you can use the other person for inspiration rather than comparison. And keep a check on negative self-talk. Now, what is negative self-talk? So, we all have this inner dialogue that we do with ourselves. And oftentimes we have something called as a negative self-talk. We are telling ourselves that we are no good, or we'll not be able to do this, or we are not that good at doing study. We're not good at studies. We are not good at public speaking. We are not capable enough. So we need to really see what kind of self talk we are doing, and try to keep that self talk motivating and positive. So if you are into practicing negative self-talk, you have to consciously put a check on that and convert that negative self-talk into positive self-talk. Next slide. So put personal boundaries. Put boundaries on your time, on your space. Like everybody is teaching us how to say yes to things, right? But we also need to know how to say no to certain things, to protect our energy, to protect our time, to protect our personal space. So put boundaries, stay away from toxic people. We all have some people in our life who are toxic, and the best thing we can do is to just stay away from them, because they can really bring you down. And like Sir spoke, be realistic in your expectations. Like, don't put these goals which are extremely hard for you to achieve. You have to be reasonable and realistic in your expectations. So once you, that doesn't mean that you should not expect the best for you, but it has to be something reasonable for yourself, according to what your strengths and skills are. And now coming to anxiety reducing practices. Now, I'll not be able to go into the details of this due to the lack of time, but these are tried and tested anxiety reducing practices, and they most of these practices come from India, which have now gone to the Western world and become very big there. But these are our own books, our own ancient schools of education speak about this. So give some time. You don't have to do all of this, but at least one of this on a regular basis, like meditation, which will help you to clear your mind, calm yourself down, and focus better. Lot of yoga practices, and nowadays the best part is that we can learn all this online on the internet, even if it is not physically possible for us to go anywhere. We can just do this for 15 to 20 minutes every day. Mindfulness again is a wonderful practice to follow, which will give all sorts of benefits, not just in academic life but in all areas of life. Breath works or breathing exercises, even simple deep breathing just like 10 to 15 cycles of simple deep breathing that can, reduce your anxiety profound to a great extent. Art therapy is to use creativity and colors. Then pet therapy will be like playing with your pets, your cats or dogs or any other pet that you have. And aromatherapy has certain fragrances which can be used to increase clarity and increase concentration and decrease anxiety. Like lavender is one of the fragrance which really reduces anxiety, and it also helps in better sleep. So yeah, I think there was one more slide before that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, go on to the next slide. So connect with nature. This is very important. Nature is one of the oldest cures. Like 1,000 years ago, and God knows how many years ago, they used to just, nature was one of the only cure that people used to use. So make sure that you get some time with nature. No, when there is like early morning sunlight or fresh air and trees, flowers, there's something so healing about nature. There's a profound calming and healing effect that nature can have on us. And especially people who are staying in Goa, we have abundance of that by God's grace. So make sure that you take some early morning walk or early evening walk, if not every day, at least whenever possible for you. And you can even make a small home garden or grow some potted plants, especially if your study space is surrounded by some potted plants, some element of nature. It will also help you greatly. Next slide. Limit media exposure. Now, this is something that is relevant in COVID times. So you must have noticed that, how the news reporters are, telling the news. Everything is sensationalized, no? Everything is a breaking news. So this is the era of information and media overload. And when we listen to such news, like this train is coming, that train is coming, these many people are dead, or like these many people are hospitalized, or some black fungus, yellow fungus, it's a complete environment of chaos and panic and fear. And also so many different types of treatments, right? We have been bombarded over the past 1 year with everybody telling something else, and every day we are listening to something new, and we go into this state of confusion and cognitive dissonance wherein we don't know what to believe, what is right, what is wrong, and that's a very vulnerable state for everybody. So we have to limit our media exposure, especially if you're somebody who is getting very affected by news. Next slide. So just the continuation of that, we have to be mindful in our consumption of media and information. Only rely on reliable channels. Do fact checking. Now what is happening is on WhatsApp, people are just forwarding left, right, center. So we have to be very mindful from our side also. When you get some news related to COVID or anything else, you do some fact checking first. Don't contribute to the chain of panic. And be conscious about your reaction to the news. Next slide. Practice gratitude journaling. So ma'am spoke about positive psychology in the beginning. So gratitude is one of the positive psychology techniques wherein it rewires our brain into positive thinking, and we experience positive emotions. It helps in reducing stress and builds our resilience. And ma'am also spoke about adversity quotient. So this is one of the technique that will actually increase our adversity quotient. It helps us building resilience to deal with adversity. So what is gratitude journaling? Gratitude journaling is nothing but to count your blessings. Even though this is a stressful time, even though, we are, we're not having the best right now, and it's not just us, but people all over the world. We are in a state of uncertainty right now. Even then, we can be grateful for certain things in our life, and there always is something to be grateful for. So, a lot of people whom I meet, if I talk to them about gratitude, they tell me like there is nothing to be grateful for. And that is just, that is the exact kind of mindset which we need to come out of. So there is always something to be grateful for. The very fact that we are alive is something to be grateful for. That your heart is beating, you have blood running in your veins, that is something to be grateful for. So always count your blessings. Next slide. So yeah, this is just the continuation of that. So even in the darkest of times, even in the worst of times, we need to be positive and we need to find that silver lining or that sunny side of life. Right? They say that, every cloud has a silver lining and we need to find it. It is up to us. It's our mindset, our thinking, and our perspective that will help us to find this silver lining. Next slide. So positive attitude and hope. So positivity keeps the whole world going. Even in times of distress and times of uncertainty, we need to keep an attitude of being hopeful. Again, this is another positive psychology technique. It is been studied that people who are grateful and people who are hopeful have immense mental strength and resilience to go through anything and emerge victorious. But if somebody has a negative attitude and is not hopeful and all the time complaining, then that same mindset affects their own mental health, making them somebody who is very bitter, very stressful, somebody who gets easily depressed, easily anxious. So hope is something that can help us go through even the darkest of times. Next slide. So this is one of the last things that I wanted to say, that we have to be self-aware in our life. Now we are just doing things because somebody is telling us to do it, or because we are seeing other people doing it, and that's not a very mindful way of living. We need to at least spend some time, reflecting on ourselves to understand ourselves better. So these are some of the questions that I have put up. Of course, these are not the only questions that we can ask ourselves. There are a lot many more, but these are the some of the important questions. Like, what truly motivates us? What makes us really excited, and what goals do we want to achieve? Not just academic goals, but other life goals. And why do we want to achieve them? Just because somebody else is doing it, or just because the society has programmed you to do something like that? And you have to ask whether are they truly your goals, or you're just getting influenced by what you're seeing on Instagram and Facebook. And what makes you feel most fulfilled in life? What are your values and principles in life? And how do you want to become a contributing member of the society? And what is your life vision? And ideally, a life vision should be personalized to yourself. If everybody has the same life vision, it doesn't make any sense, because every person is different. What makes every person fulfilled, what motivates every person, what kind of life every person wants is different. And our life vision also has to be carefully planned out according to our own needs. Yeah, so next slide. So yeah, so this is make your own personalized toolkit. Now I'm going to talk about two types of toolkits. One is the academic and study toolkits. So a toolkit basically is something that works for you, because something that works for somebody else may not work for you. So you need to try out different study techniques, try out different strategies, and see what works for you, and use those techniques for maximum performance. So tried and tested strategies for studying and preparing for exams can become an academic toolkit, and an emotional toolkit, which is tried and tested anxiety reducing practices. And tried and tested coping mechanisms that work for you can be your emotional toolkit. Now, next slide. Yeah, so I have put one slide explaining when you should seek professional help. Now, all these strategies that I have mentioned can be done by yourself at home and done on a regular basis. And yes, they do help. But there also will be some people, or there also will be some time when it will go way out of control and you may have to take professional help. Whether it is your own teachers and mentors, or whether it is your some college counselor or anybody from outside also. So what are the points or the signs when you have to do that? So if you're constantly feeling low, okay, like everybody feels low sometime or the other, which is pretty okay. But if you're constantly for days and months together feeling low and no interest in anything, you're crying all the time and you don't even know why you're crying, you're having severe mood swings, and you're not able to maintain normal levels of functioning despite trying, when there is severe anxiety, panic attacks, and extreme fear. If somebody is suicidal, it's a psychiatric emergency. So every person who's suicidal is an emergency. There is substance use. That means, people have started using addictive substances to help them cope with stress. That is not a healthy way of coping, and you need to reach out for help. Severe insomnia, behavioral issues like anger. Somebody who's normally a very quiet person is suddenly throwing anger outbursts, emotional outbursts. Then that means there is some problem. And if already there is a known mental health condition and that has become more, then you have to reach out for professional help. And lastly, please listen to your own intuition. If your inner voice is telling you that you need help, then you need help and you need to reach out for help. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I just want to say that we need to lose the stress, but keep the ambition. Keep the ambition going, but it need not be a very stressful ordeal. So we have to put practices and train ourselves to cut down the stress in our lives. Next slide. Yeah, to end it, I would like to say that your mental health matters. And next slide, you need to make your mental and emotional health a priority in your life, because that will determine many other things. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much for patient listening. I'll take some questions if anybody has.
Dr.
Thanks, Amir.
Dr. Kalpa.
Hi, Madam Karuna. I think there is an echo in your voice, but yeah, we can hear you.
Dr. Kalpa. Thank you so much for this lovely presentation and the way you have explained it today. I'm sure all our students and the participants must have got some tips from what you are trying to tell us, what can be done when we are anxious, because we have heard and we have got the news about our students being anxious, committing suicide. So we felt very bad about it. And then we thought like, yes, At least this year we can give such talks to our students so that they try to fight the anxiety and be happy in their life. There was a question here, I don't know if you have read. Sir Sanjan, he is med faculty. He is asked, students are digitally connected, not emotionally. So can you reflect on this, Dr. Kalpa? What can
Yeah,
be done?
yeah. So see, now in today's world, like whether we like it or not, technology has taken over us. What we can do is we can do mindful consumption of technology. Use the good aspects of technology, and like try to put a limit to that. Unfortunately, now even college sessions, we are using technology to do that, but there has to be certain limit to it. Like limit the screen time and then go and connect to people, outside of your screen time, and connect to nature, connect to your own self, connect to people around you. So the digital thing, it all depends on the person, like we have to, it's very hard, but we need to kind of put some kind of boundary to it and slowly train our mind not to all the time be on the phone or all the time be on the laptop, right? We can use it for some time, we can use it for its advantages, but make sure that you don't lose the other connections with people and with yourself and with other things. So it also, that's also again, it's related to balance, and it is in our hands how to do it. So it will not come easily, but if we are conscious and mindful of it over a period of time, we can put it into practice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kalpa. I request the participants, if you all have any questions, you all can write it in the message, or you all can unmute yourself and ask. Few questions can be taken, I feel, since we have Dr. Kalpa here, and so lovely presentation she did. I'm sure students have benefited from this.
Yeah, I'll just see if there are any questions.
Ma'am, good afternoon for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Good
ma'am,
afternoon.
how can we motivate and reinforce the students in digitally? Any?
Uh, can you elaborate on your question? Do you mean how you can motivate,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
through
Even
digital
digital medium,
mechanisms?
how can we motivate the students?
Okay, so nowadays there are a lot of apps, for motivation. Like I said even during my presentation, that there are good and bad aspects of technology, and we can use these apps. There are apps where we can, like, track our progress. There are apps which have gamified goals, like once we reach certain milestone, it gives us these many points. And the reason why people are usually so addicted to video games and all that, it's because of those instant rewards. And now there are some study related apps and some productivity related apps which have used the same techniques to give those instant rewards. So that is how you can motivate people digitally. The other things are using apps for giving positive messages. There are a lot of apps which every day it will give you one positive quote, or every day it will send you one positive poster. So such apps can be used, and apps to track, apps to schedule, all these things, right? I mean, of course, but very mindfully. Again, these apps should be used very mindfully, otherwise our whole life will become like, completely digital. We can use these apps as long as it's helping us to increase our productivity and focus, but something else that's absolutely not adding any value, we need to cut that out.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for very informative session. Okay, thank you, Karina, ma'am.
Thank you, Sanjayan sir, for that question. Thank you so much, Dr. Kalpa. We have shared the link requesting all the participants to please give a feedback, and after giving the feedback, you will receive the certificate for today's webinar. Thank you so much. May I now request Dr. Delia Antau, the officiating principal of Nirbala Institute of Education. She is also vice president of ARIO, Goa chapter, and she is executive member of Principals Association of College of Education, to propose a vote of thanks for today's session. Dr. Delia Antau, if you're there, please.
Good day, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. G.K. Chesterton says, when it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude. Living with gratitude and hope will go a long way in overcoming stress and developing our mental health, which in turn will help us achieve our goals and be happy. On behalf of GVM's Dada Vaidya College of Education, Ponda, Goa, the Principals Association of Colleges of Education, PACE, as well as the Association of International Researchers of Indian Origin, IRIO, Goa chapter, I wish to express my deep gratitude to our keynote speaker of today's Edu Talk, Dr. Kalpa Govekar, consultant psychiatrist and mental health coach, for this brilliant talk and for some extremely useful strategies which she has suggested, which, as she said at the very beginning of this session, are really simple, clear, and very much within the reach of every participant here. Thank you so very much, Dr. Kalpa. A special thanks to the treasurer of IRIO Global, Dr. G.B. Varghese, for taking the time to be here with us this morning and for giving us this inaugural address in which she has made an interesting comparison between life and examinations and the unavoidable impact that we experience, both positive and negative effects on our journey of life. And so the need to find some important strategies that went very well with the talk of today. I also thank Dr. B.P. Marge for his presence with us, for being both encouraging and appreciative of our efforts in his felicitation speech, as well as for focusing on the need for time management and developing healthy academic skills. I thank Dr. Jojen Matthew, the officiating principal of GVM's Dada Vaidya College of Education and president of IRIO Goa chapter, for his welcome address. In fact, we can never thank Dr. Matthew enough for his perseverance, enthusiasm, and for the tremendous interest that he has been taking to offer the best in terms of academics and meaningful living for members of the faculty, staff, and students all over the state. I'm very grateful to the entire team who played an important role in organizing this Edu Talk for today. First of all, I thank Mrs. Karuna Satardekar, the program coordinator and associate professor of GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, Ponda, for her introduction to this Edu Talk. I thank Mr. Ganesh Naik, associate professor of GVM's Dada Vaidya College of Education, Ponda, for introducing the inaugural addresser, and Mrs. Hani Babu, the assistant professor and general secretary of IRIO, for her fitting introduction to our felicitator, Dr. B.P. Marge. To Mrs. Akshata Samant, assistant professor of GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, Ponda, and treasurer of IRIO Goa chapter, for introducing the keynote speaker. Of course, this program couldn't have been possible without the able expertise of the technicians who have worked silently behind the screens. We are also thankful to all you, our dear participants, who have joined this Edu Talk today and made it a success. Surely we know that you have truly benefited from this talk and will put into practice the pearls of wisdom that you have just received through this talk. So thank you one and all, and God bless you all, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kalpa. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Deliantao, for that lovely vote of thanks. And we are always there with you, and we expect your help always for our webinars. Thank you so much. And especially, I would like to thank Mr. Abhijit Rege, our system administrator, and assistant professor Diptej for helping us behind the screen. Thank you so much. Participants, the link for feedback form has been shared. Please, you can fill in the feedback form, and once you fill in and send it, you will receive the certificate on today's webinar. Thank you so much, and I hope the tips given by Doctor today, you will practice it in your life so that you have balanced life, physically and mentally too. Thank you so much.
We will just ask the students, suppose they want to clarify something related to examination, they can ask us. Others
Yes,
can
sir.
please
Yes, sir.
leave.
Yes, sir. Our students, if you all have second year students, you have any doubts about the examination, since our principal spoke about the examination, how it will be, when it will be. If you have any doubts, you can please ask so that your doubts are clear.
Okay, I would like to tell you also that we will be sending a feedback form for you all. Most probably we'll upload it on our website and we will share the link in your WhatsApp group. You have to complete that feedback. It is very, very important as far as your teachers are concerned. We need to know. We would value your feedback for us. And this will be sent to you. The link will be sent to you later. Any teachers they would like to share any information to the students, you are welcome also. Teachers, faculty members, anybody who would like to share any information to students? Mr. Sanjay was telling me regarding one competition about drug addiction. So students who are interested to participate in that, please do that. Some slogan competition is there. Essay writing is there. So whichever you are comfortable with, you can join for that. Any students who would like to ask a question, you are free to ask. Any teachers who would like to share any information with the students, you are free to do that now. Thank you.
Sir, I think students have understood the information which you shared in the morning, and they have no questions. Maybe
Okay,
later in the WhatsApp group they can ask
yes,
if
yes.
they have any doubts and any questions.
Okay, then we'll wind up. Thank you so much, Karuna. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Very fruitful session, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you, sir. Bye, sir.